All right. Hi. Sure. Just give me 5 minutes. I just want to help you real quick.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Big Scoom,
This is Tyler John the Don.
and this is
Scoom
Scoom.
Speaks.
Are certain thoughts inherently darker or lighter, or is the coloring subjective?
But I'm first going to say inherently darker. Your thoughts in your head, like the words that the stories that go on inside your brain that you don't let rip out of your mouth and tell other people, they're inherently darker for sure. I don't care who you are. You're in denial if you say no. We're not Jesus.
It's interesting. So, I guess the opposite would be true then too. Some are just inherently lighter then.
Some, I would say some. I would think that the the questions that are inherently lighter are probably dwindling less on the side of the thoughts that we keep inside of our own mind and think to ourselves when we're driving alone or something like that.
It's interesting because this is
Closed door.
almost
I like to call those closed door questions or closed door conversations. Yeah.
okay. I mean, it's interesting because it's almost like a trick question because it's like none of, like you said, and how you started. None of these can be subjective though. They're still all, or can not be subjective.
Yeah, I know. I know. And that's the great thing about just life in general is there's like we say in the last few episodes, there's no such thing as 100% truth and nothing is really absolute. So yeah, of course. I mean, everybody, your past is different than my past, and our pasts and childhoods and things like that are all going to affect the way that we think, even into adulthood. I'm only 29 now, but I'm guessing even into my elder years, I'm still probably going to be pretty much the same person, right? Maturity happens, yeah, sure, but do you really change that much?
I agree. If the soul is shaped by thought, can a single moment of insight alter it more than a lifetime of ordinary thinking?
Holy smokes, what a question. I know you hate it when I say, can you ask it again? But can you ask it again?
I mean, it's interesting because it's like it seems like both things can be true, but you would jump to like traumatic stuff. Like, let's say you had trauma over a long period of time. Obviously, that'll affect you. Or let's say you had one like super huge traumatic event. It's like which one would whatever, it wants to transform your soul, but whatever, affect your soul more.
Oh, so repeated trauma
Yeah.
in comparison to one time something is so traumatic, which one would affect you more long term? I would say the repeated offensive on yourself. Well, I guess act the repeated actions onto oneself, but maybe not inflicted on themselves individually. So it would be an action that someone else does onto you.
Yep.
I think for long term, repeated offenses would Marcus Aurelius called this coloring your soul. And repeated offenses would color your soul. I think it's like this. If we take a glass of water, it's clear. We offend it one time and put in a little drip of food coloring, right? Just once, just one drop. And then it's like it's there, but it's not really there. But then every time it gets a little darker. And that's what happens, I think, kind of thing. I don't know if that really answers your question. I don't know if it's a yes or no answer either way.
It's not, and that wasn't the exact question, but I just tried to word it in a different way. But it's weird how I've just been taking everything to the opposite lately, like the opposite pole. And it's like how like super positive, so the opposite of traumatic. Kids like do the same thing now. But it seems like
Mm.
not like repeated little positive things maybe won't really do much because it's just like human nature. But like one super amazing, I don't know, maybe call it a miracle of positivity could huge transform your soul.
Yeah, but for how long? Because it's only one, right? And it's kind of like the concept of if 10 people tell you you're beautiful and then one person tells you you're ugly, that one person hurts your feelings kind of more so 10 people that tell you something positive. So
I love that we're going to this now because fundamentally this could say a lot about you specifically. It is human nature to do that, whatever the heck that's called. I know in some things it's called like loss aversion, like you'd much rather like if you had the opportunity to like gain $5 or lose $5, you'd be more focused on losing $5. So it's like human nature, all of that. But is that a choice, T, or is that human nature?
everything's a choice, brother. I'm serious. It's a choice. Everything.
I know. I dislike that because I don't know. It's maybe it is natural to want to lean towards that, but dude, it is a choice, and I never get that because it always seems like because you said the positive, which is so true. One positive thing, super big positive thing. All right, it happened one time. It's a miracle. Now I got to go deal with all the horrible things out there still. But if you reverse it, one super traumatic, horrible, like you don't say it, you don't talk about it the same way as we just talked about that one. It's like, oh man, this affected me forever.
Yeah,
But they're both just one.
I concur. It's interesting because I've been on retreats, like spiritual retreats and things like that. And it's like you come back and your soul and your body is like vibrating with all of this energy from the retreat, you know? And you could see other people transform on these events too. And but you can still go, you know, like as you they call it when you leave a retreat, a spiritual retreat, that it's coming down the mountain, right? As you suddenly come back into the life of whatever, your 9 to 5 and all of this, and how long it really takes somebody to become frustrated with their job again, right? Their normal life after coming off of one of these. So it's still there, but that's still a choice. And that just it honestly it shows a lot that how much of our mindset we control or allow external events to control us, you know? That's kind of where it took my mind.
Yeah, I mean, we can backpack off this to my next question. And knowing you, I probably can guess your answer. Here's the question. Is it possible to train the mind to think in ways that fundamentally transform the soul?
Heck yeah, it is.
What popped into your mind?
Dude, I believe I'm an animal. And you can't kill an idea. You really can't. Like if you have an idea and you're doubling down on the idea, it's your belief and all of this, it won't matter what anybody else tells you.
It's interesting you say you can't kill ideas because it's like Carl Jung, he says, people don't have ideas, ideas have people.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, yeah,
That's why you
whatever.
can't kill it though, because it's still a figment of matter around our head somewhere. So even and still, you can't kill it.
Yeah, we're all just getting held on or getting grasped by these ideas, and then we're just the mouthpiece for them.
Yeah,
It's
I love
interesting
it.
though, because you can train the mind to change the soul, to transform the soul.
Heck yeah, you can.
But
Anything's possible. Whenever a question starts with "Is it possible?" the answer is yes. But
that's a good way to
sorry,
go about it.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but that's serious.
It's just sad to think, since that's a fact, like there's just so many people, just specifically young people, who aren't like who don't do that, who don't work to train their mind to transform their souls.
Yeah, buddy. I think it's because of, well, look at society, buddy. I mean, everybody is lost on their phones and chasing momentary satisfactions and things like this. Like nobody's going off into the wilderness or into a garden and sitting with themselves and just being one thing with themselves. And not only that, I think a lot of people don't really believe in themselves anyway.
You said something that it made me wonder. It's like, why does this that work on yourself mentally that we just talked about, why does that have to be done by yourself? Which I more or less practically agree with, but like I don't get why though. That's weird.
That's part of the journey of life. It isn't about necessarily the people that are here to influence you, but more of what you're willing to do for yourself. It has to be internal. It comes from a strong mind and strong belief system in yourself. It's deep. It's really deep. It isn't something that you can just conquer because you think about it. You know, there's a lot of reading and studying that goes into this kind of meditation and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of self-development too. You need to spend time alone. Like I secluded myself really well a few years ago, and I lived in a dark basement, literally, and I just took in the Kabbalion, the Hermetica. What else was it? I was on
Well, you made me think of something else, and I'm wondering if it's more because of like how society is now. Like you brought up phone and technology and instant gratification. If it's more of that, or if it's more of like conditioning, as in like people just have like a full like or whatever a household with other people and siblings. So the question is, like, why are people like hate being by themselves? Is it because of more of one of those two things, or is it something else? It's like, all right, well, just I've been conditioned since I was a kid. Had a parent there, maybe a brother. I go to school, like there's all these people around me, so I never get the chance to be by myself really too much or for long. Or is it more of, oh, well, I got social media, I got my phone, I got the internet, I got all this stuff, technology. I can talk
so
to
many
anyone
choices. Yeah, so many choices of distractions, right?
Well, I don't know. No, not right. I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's what leads to people not wanting to be by themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm definitely willing to go down the rabbit hole, but I think it
No, I
has
think it's the first one.
something to do with the frontal lobe development, right?
I think it's the
Yeah.
first one. I think it's the first one.
What was the first one again? Your mom and your brothers or siblings always around you all the time, and you're just accustomed to other people's um interactions or their thoughts being, you know, implemented onto you, and all of these kinds of things kind of fundamentally build up over time.
Yeah, not
Why?
even that deep. It's just that for most humans, since we've been born, we're not typically alone that much. Like for very long.
Mm,
So we get super comfortable with having people around. So I guess that's why.
mm.
Because people don't like being alone, man. So that's probably why. That would make sense.
Well, yeah, it says in the Bible that man was not meant to be alone. It says it in there a few different times.
I mean, now it's like now it all it's come full circle because it's like because of that fact. So it wouldn't make sense for people to want to go on their own to do this mental work to transform their soul because for what we just said, it does. Why would they want to? So I can see why. So then people shouldn't then in some sense.
Well, I don't know if I'd agree with they shouldn't, because it's on the contrary, you could say people don't want to go to the gym, so in turn they shouldn't go to the gym, so then they just don't go to the gym.
I
There's
mean,
there's good things that come out of solitude. It isn't okay, too much solitude for too long, obviously detrimental to man.
well,
But to a
that
degree,
metaphor doesn't quite map on because well, I guess maybe it kind of does because I was going to make the argument that you're not conditioned to not go to the gym, but I guess you kind of are because you just haven't gone anyways. So
yeah, right. That's kind of what I was getting after. It's more normal if you are hanging out with a group of friends and they're not gym rats kind of thing, and like
yeah, I guess
you're
you're
not going to
right.
be the one friend to try to convince everybody else to let's go. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where my
Well,
brain went with that. That's why I mapped it there.
there's a lot of like we'll go on to my next point, but there's a lot of stigma behind young men going to the gym, as in like
Stigma in a negative way.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, there is
interesting.
nowadays. But anyways, not like we hear about any of that noise. Anyways,
Heck no, dude. I prefer solitude in the gym.
if a soul is died by thought, is ignorance of one's own thinking a form of self-deception?
Yeah.
Explain.
Absolutely, dude. Heck yeah, man. So if your soul has died, then in turn that means all your beliefs and hope is gone. And your mind isn't going to try to revive that. Your mind isn't going to try to resurrect that. Your mind is just going to feed. Your mind is the freaking worst weapon to mankind because it wants you to be lazy. It wants you to eat junk food and go back to sleep for 12 more hours. So heck yeah, if your soul is gone and all hope is gone, any form of resurrection is gone, then yeah, your brain is just going to feed into that concept. It's one and the same.
Hear the question again, because it's like a kagasui. It's like a
Takasui.
yeah, it's like a snake eating its own tail.
I like that word though.
Yeah, it's like that kagasui is like a cause onto
Inside the
itself.
effect. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's like
So
an infinite, you know, kind of thing. It's like an infinite loop of once happens, then it's just gonna start. But yeah, go for it. What were you gonna say? Explain how you think it's a kagasui.
if a soul is died by thought, is ignorance of one's own thinking a form of self-deception? So it's like I'm ignoring my thinking that dies my thought to whatever the thinking is, but me ignoring that is me deceiving myself. You see how that's like a
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's self defamation right here. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's like that's how it begins. 100%. It's like if you don't believe in yourself, and that's why I started there. If you don't believe in yourself, then your brain's only going to give you more reasons. I don't believe in myself because this, and I don't believe in myself because of that. Instead of looking for reasons, oh, but I could believe in myself because I can do this still. So yeah, it's sad. It's very sad for people that are like that just get stuck inside of darkness and they don't even try. They stop trying.
I don't know. I'm having like an epiphany myself now because as in like that's kind of harsh to say because since now we can kind of call it self-deception. I don't know. I feel like that like lightens the load of it. It's like, all right, well, maybe it's not super negative because, like, yeah, what's wrong with self-deception? Like, we can call the effect of the self-deception bad, which is all the stuff you just named,
Mhm.
but the act itself, I don't know. It's like it is lightened. It is more mild now because it's. I mean, yeah, it's just self-deception, which
Well,
inherently doesn't have to be super bad for you.
I concur to the degree of could we replace the word self-deception to humility, to understanding there are certain I do have limits, right? But no, I think once the soul has died inside of you and your fight for life is just it's on a decline.
Well, the dye that I was using in context is more like
Oh,
dyeing your clothes or
coloring.
hair dye.
Okay, sorry. See, I picked that up a little
Yeah.
bit because you said died, and then I thought about what I said about the Marcus Aurelius thing, where he's like, "Oh yeah, well, everything that you take into your body kind of taints your soul a little bit, and then it could be really dark after a long term."
Yeah, that's why now in context, that's why it lightens the load a little bit because it's like if my thought is going to be dying my soul,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of dying, just
Mm-hmm.
affecting it,
Mm-hmm.
then me ignoring that form of thinking, since that's in some sense is like relatively inevitable, I don't know. It's like maybe like I'm saying now. It's like maybe because of all that, maybe it's not like so much. Oh man, we feel really really bad for that person.
Mm.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know. I feel different about it now. I don't feel. I don't know. I feel it's. I don't know. Do you get what I mean in that? Because like yeah,
Yeah. And what I was thinking about this too while you were going down that, thank you for sharing everything that it makes you think of. I appreciate it. I was thinking at the same time, as long as you're breathing oxygen, anything is revivable. And that's probably just my optimistic brain. I don't know, but I think that yeah, because it's dyed and you could bleach a t-shirt back to white after you dye it and your hair will eventually grow out, right? If you dye your hair, it grows out to a certain length. Eventually you cut all of the colors that were colored off and then your natural hair color eventually comes back. So
see,
I think
it's
that as long as you're alive and living, then it would only be the option to reverse any form of negativity or tainting of your water that you could. The option is still there. It's still a choice, buddy.
so
But it
that
is still sad that when someone gets their soul dyed that color, it's sad when their brain starts to just concur with that and then they work like this and then it's terrible. It's sad. It takes a lot of mental work to get your soul out of that darkness.
it's interesting because you have it's like for some of those just little tweaks that we put on it, and something I really like about you that showed is like you found the empathy that's in there for that person,
Mm.
and which also and then also came out with some humility in that too. But it's just interesting, like, and you couldn't see it because you were in it probably, but just that slight tweak now, like, changed the whole frame for you in some sense. Then you kind of went back to the old frame of calling it sad, but there is some empathy in that. There is some empathy in that for that other person. And when you feel that empathy, what happens is you do exactly what you did. You basically, it's weird how to word it, but you basically are more open to like having warmth about the situation. Like you went
Mm.
from saying, "Hey, it's sad," and kind of being negative about it. Like,
Mm.
trust me, those
I
people,
remember.
yeah, those type of people are bad. You want to stay away from those people. They're not worth your time. You can't save them. Type of energy. To
Mhm.
hey, now they have a chance. There's an opportunity for them still. It's not over. And it's just
Because
interesting.
yeah, I remember my first answer was, "Oh yeah, these people are." I remember my first answer, and then at the end, I was like, "Well, I mean, they're still alive, so growth is still imminent." I concur. I did do
It's
that.
it's dope because like I don't know how it's exactly connected in real time, but there's like humility to do that. There's like humility in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think humility is in my opinion, is one of the best things that man should do.
It's interesting because now what we've kind of metaphysically constructed is that like that drives empathy somehow. I know we'll have to work that in off camera, but that's just what happened. I just watched all of those building blocks like configure in line, and you acted
Yeah,
on them. It's weird.
yeah,
It's like I don't know what comes first. Like, well, yeah, you get humble,
yeah,
and then and only then are you open to feeling empathy for that person, and then only then can you possibly, I don't know how to word it after that, you start to feel warm about that person and their situation, and then you kind of just hope, like you feel like you start feeling hopeful for them. It's weird how it works. I have no idea.
yeah. You start to get to a sense of optimism, and then I feel like I can fix this person. And that is the biggest drag for someone who's empathetic, is why we're also attracted to people that are narcissistic and things like this, because empaths like to try to fix people, even though that's not even possible. You have to do it yourself. And I know that because of a lot of trial, error, failure, and studying.
It's interesting. Now I'm just wondering, and we'll get off the topic. I'm just wondering, is like how correlated are them? Is it like, are the most humble people, the most empathic people, but I don't know.
Oh, dang. Possibly.
Does thinking about something repeatedly make it more real to us than external events?
What? Thinking about something repeatedly? Now
Does th-
that thought is more real than external events, which I'm guessing external events being something that physically did happen. You witnessed it, experienced it. No way.
choose a
What?
side.
Dang. Thinking about a thought 24 hours a day, the same thought, but now, and concentrated in thought too. Like, this is how it would feel. This is how it would look. This is how it would look if I was doing it. This is how it would feel and smell. This is what I would see while I was doing it. No way. It's still just a thought. But on the contrary, the second half was, could we now be delusional enough inside of our own thought of believing all of this so much that external events that really is happening doesn't even affect me, and like, leave it alone, whatever. Dang.
Here,
That's
I'll ask the question again, and don't think so much about trying to be right. Think about, or just talk about how you feel
Yeah,
about it.
I'm leaning more towards the first one right now, but ask it again. I'm leaning more towards the first half of this question. I like.
Does thinking about something repeatedly make it more real to us than external events? Don't try to be right. Just
I
say your
know, I
truth.
know. I'm still almost leaning towards the first part still, because that's where that's where the reality even starts from, isn't it? It's, if this is truly where you want to be, then you've already visioned what it's going to be like. Like a little kid waiting to go to Six Flags their whole life, thinking about the roller coaster they can't wait to ride on. Then boom, they're sitting in a line. Or before they're even there, they're thinking about standing in line. They can smell the popcorn, the hot dogs, and the funnel cakes, right? While you're at Six Flags, you hear people screaming, and it's greatness. And then you're there. I think the first one, buddy. I think that thinking about something repeatedly does become more real than external events. Personally, I might be crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm not even sure if it's as deep as you made it seem, because it's like, whether thoughts are real or whether events are real, there's nothing more real than what feels real. As in, like, there's nothing more real than like the emotions we feel. And it seems like just both of those two roads are just like mediums, or just like vehicles for us to have feelings and emotions.
Mm,
So yeah, it's like whatever made you feel more is what you're gonna say is more real. I mean, we're so emotional based.
yeah.
Like if I have an event
Feel.
and
I have a quick question. Feel in general, or feel positive or negative?
general, just
Doesn't
yeah,
doesn't really
just
matter. Right.
yep,
Okay.
just emotion. Really, what I
Okay.
mean is emotion.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha.
Now I'm thinking like,
How neutral can you actually live? And
well,
is
you can't.
that right? I was gonna say, and is that based upon external events? And the answer is yes. Right? Well, I don't
Well,
know.
well, now I'm
I,
getting even more crazy, because it's like, do external events only happen just so we could feel emotion?
mm,
But in some sense, the answer is yes, because if yeah, because if things, well, that's stupid to say, but if things didn't happen, we wouldn't be here. But I guess that's obvious. Like,
yeah. But on the contrary, say that last sentence one more time. What did you say?
do things only happen for us to feel emotion, or something like that?
Yeah, no, I almost disagree. We only feel emotion because how many things in life on a day-to-day basis are natural, right? And
What do you mean by
then
that?
you're natural. The sun rises and the sun sets. Flowers bloom and then they close. That's natural. Does that make you feel happy or sad or indifferent? It's like, that's just it is what it is, right?
Well, no, definitely not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not indifferent. No, that's it. It's funny. Our minds will make it feel indifferent, but it's not
Mm,
indifferent. It's like, what would you call it? Where it's like comforting. It's like homeostasis. It like allows us
mm,
to it allows us to whatever, make it irrelevant and like go explore something.
okay.
Like, yeah,
Just
natural events aren't natural in that way. They're events that allow us to feel natural.
okay. Yeah, I almost still don't have an answer for your question, but I would like to believe that if you think about something enough, then that's more real than the reality around you. And that's because I believe in that delusional state, that delusional to success and things like that. I do believe in that. So that's why.
It's interesting. Yeah, we're like almost taking seems like different stances, which is interesting because I'm probably
And
saying that.
both pretty firm, it seems too. Like,
Yeah, I mean, well, not so much because in some sense we're not even really talking about the same thing. I'm actually kind of avoiding the question more. You're more taking the question more head on than I was. So here, let's see if there's anything to debate. In some sense, it seems like you're making the argument that, like, I don't know, this world or us as humans are driven by like thought.
driven by thought. Well, I agree. In the last episode that we had, episode 32, I think it was, we had we had concurred that we are very emotionally driven as humans. Like that's just what we do, right? We already got into it once about if you're either driven by fear or motivations or whatever. But either
Well,
way, it's based in emotion. And the emotion would be based off of your day to day. And I could play devil's advocate here. If I were to lean towards your side, I could see definitely how um, the emotional part of things could shift your reality a lot as well. Because if one day you just had enough of it, of the drama at work, you could just quit, and now your reality shifted. Gotta find a new
well,
job or
well. What I feel like you did is you took that question and like you compartmentalized it. Like you took thought, tried not tried. You took thought, you absolutely detached emotion from it, and then you posited thought as like, I don't know, like the priority. Like you see
mm,
what I mean by that? Like you
hmm
literally detached all emotion from thought and then said, "Oh, it's here's it's thought, it's thought."
yeah.
But I think what's coupled with thought and actually the A to thought as opposed to the B is the emotion.
hmm
So it's really in my argument, it's
So your
like
emotions control your thoughts a little bit, kind of thing.
kind of, yeah, yes, exactly. The
Okay.
A is emotion, not the thought, and then emotion gets to feed off the thought. No, there's the emotion, and then thoughts are just linked to that emotion.
Yeah, I can concur also because how do I want to word this? As an action is done towards you, or maybe even you see an action somewhere else, right? You observe an action being done, then you think about it, and then you say, okay, if this situation happened to me, then this would happen. And all of these thoughts would then arise. And it is stemmed off that emotion. First, first the emotion
Which like can't
to
even be explained, right?
yeah. Well, I think it's hard to explain abstractly because we don't even understand really necessarily what emotions are. At least I don't.
Now you have me thinking. I'm like, since it can't be explained, I wonder is that why we go and start thinking? Because
Yeah,
like there's this emotion, there's this chemical going off. I can't explain it or where it came from. It happened so fast, I have no idea. So now thought starts working for it or something, right? Or I don't know, tries explaining whatever you're feeling.
yeah, I definitely agree. And I wonder where rational thought comes into that. It's like you have emotion and feeling first.
I mean,
Maybe
what
you're
I've heard about rationality, and I'm going to butcher it, but it has to do with like a ratio, like rationale
okay,
ratio. So I think it has to do something with like kind of like balancing like two things or multiple things, and like
which would probably be
rationality.
righteous versus wrong, right versus wrong kind of thing. Like I know
Yeah,
what is
anything. Yeah.
I know what's acceptable how to behave, but then an emotion floods me and then I'm going to react, right? A or B, I'm going to react, good or bad. And then from there, I'm going to hopefully before you react immediately, you think about it rationally. Like, okay, I can't just go hurt this person. So how else can I deal with it, right? And then you start thinking about what the conversation is going to look like when you confront them, or are you going to confront them at all? And all the thoughts, and then you boil down, you push your emotions down, kind of thing too. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I mean, you can't say that. I don't think. Well, no, you can't say that. There's a couple ways I would talk about that. One, I agree. Yeah, it's like just putting a bunch of things on a scale, and like they say, truth is somewhere in the middle. It's like rationale somewhere in the middle, or rationality
right,
somewhere in the middle. But and it must be human nature because you still do it all the time, even after all of our extended talks. Like we're humans, buddy. There is no pushing our emotions down or out the way. There is none of that. It's just not possible.
it's not possible,
But I
man.
knew you meant it as like seemingly as like a phrase or like was it like a phrase of saying or something like that, a thing of saying. But
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I think about all of like my thoughts and actions and stuff on a regular basis, right? I reflect often personally, and I'm like, after reading the book of Meditations by Marcus, I'm like, man, he would definitely be freaking ashamed of me. Like, oh, geez, just another peon, kind of thing. So I remind myself of that often, and I think that's where humility keeps me grounded. But I definitely agree that as far as emotions go, I haven't conquered them as well as I desire to. Not yet. Still working.
yeah, Marcus Aurelius is like really like underrated or whatever. Like he is honestly like one of the most exceptional humans ever, and
Eesh.
that there really could be. I mean, there's really not many people in the history of time immemorial that could legitimately have whatever they want
Yep.
at the drop of a hat
Right.
and not and like deny it all. Like
Mm-hmm.
so he would look at us, even me and you, or the most whatever stoic aesthetic people out there with absolute disgust.
Yep. True disdain. And
Absolutely.
and uh humbly, I say I understand. But personally, I wish it was easier or more easily obtained. That's for sure. How in the world this guy did what he did, I will never understand, to be very honest.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say if
People even today with less power that he had still fold like butter, buddy. Freaking cheating on their wives after married for several years and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. Greed, and it's like financial benefits or manipulation tactics or anything. You give any human being an inch, they take a freaking mile. Even worse, they take a couple yards.
I mean, I would say if someone really truly understood Marcus Aurelius and tried to like embody that, I think that like would be doing you a disservice. Like I think
Yeah,
yeah, I think that would be like trying to live like Jesus. Like it's just a measurement you can't live up to. It's shoes you
I
just couldn't fill.
I concur, and it's also because of the fact of he already obtained everything, right? He was an emperor or a ruler of a whole kingdom, and he had nothing that he how do you say, wanted, right? He already obtained everything that you just, the basics needs of everything. He didn't have bills to pay or anything like that. Everything was satisfied for him. So
Beyond that, he could have had sex with any girl he wanted to at any time, whenever. Could have
I
had
know,
ships of alcohol at any time.
shipped to him.
Anything. He could have anything we wanted. And
I
yeah,
know,
there's not many of
mounds
us.
of gold,
Yeah.
anything.
None of us even have that position. And yeah, it wouldn't be fair to think if you did that you would reject it all and not want it. So yeah, I think to try to be like that, I think that'd be doing someone, injustice. You shouldn't try to be that great. Honestly, you're setting yourself up for failure.
I concur, because it's almost like trying to build your castle on sand.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. But yeah, definitely, we definitely live in different times, man. And what's going on in the world right now? Sheesh, I wonder what Marcus would say.
Yeah, it's a good question because yeah, I don't know. I guess probably the stuff you talked about. Most of these people that we inspire to be like, basically all of them would just go live in the mountains and reject everything.
Yeah, literally, dude. Just here's my sword. I got an empty book, and I'm gonna go write a story in the mountains with my robes on.
Here's a real humbling fact.
Mm,
Seeing how me and you haven't done that, we won't probably do that and don't plan to do that. They're just greater than we are. They're just better people than we are.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't think I don't know.
maybe
I don't
greater is the
think
better
that
word.
I don't think that Marcus ever had children or anything like that. I don't know his family lineage too well, but that is another factor as well. Like having goals to expand your lineage and stuff like that as well is also a very large factor, right? You have to live in a certain type of society to where you feel comfortable enough to bring children in and have a job or career stable enough to where you can financially afford all of those things that's even required for what it's like to have a family. So there's a lot that goes into it, man. And yeah, if you want to live what we consider a normal life here in the society we live in now, it's not possible to just be that humble, or whatever you want to even call it, stoic.
I mean, he's a huge outlier, but it'd be nice to go ask one of these other people. I wish they could be here and like live in how we like in the society we live, so we could see how they would go about it. Because I don't know, maybe if some people, some great people or whatever, other than the great philosophers that people would think of, like since things were different then, maybe it wasn't too crazy or as crazy to kind of fall into where they're at. Because now that would be crazy. It'd be crazy to go live in a mountain and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would
You-
love to ask them, like, oh, like, are you guys like, let's say they were around and they had all the problems that we have, new world problems that we have now. And I'd say, hey, you guys like just trying to survive, or are you guys like trying to like forge your own path? That's probably one question I would ask these guys if they were around nowadays and lived like how we did, or like in the place that we do.
right. I think, or no, not I think. I wanted to tell you that on YouTube, actually, you could find a video. It's an animated video. It's Andrew Tate sits down with Marcus Aurelius, and that's actually it was entertaining, funny. I don't think the creator meant it to be satire. I thought it was funny though, but I highly suggest check that out. I thought that was a very good little clip. It's like Andrew's talking about yeah, having Bugattis and stuff like this, and he was like, "What do I need anything that you're talking about for?" And I don't know. It's really interesting. I definitely I highly recommend it. I suggest it in this episode. Go check that out. Marcus Aurelius versus Andrew Tate.
Nice. That's it. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining us for another open thought session.